Hey everyone, my name is Reese from InvestorBet. It's time to preview the Monday primetime game or the Sunday night football for week 10 in the NFL. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the LA Chargers. The Chargers are $1.66 favorites. They're laying 2.5 points and the total line currently is 44.5. Posted a number of these previews already to this YouTube channel, and so far every single game that I've done a preview for on this channel, we've won the final bet on that game. So these videos certainly paying out well so far. Definitely want to continue them. There'll be another video for the Philadelphia Eagles Green Bay Packers game, which is the Tuesday game if you like me here in Australia. But right now, let's focus on the Chargers and Steelers game. We've also started the NBA season really well. We have a 26-9 record. So right now, 35 bets into the season. We're going at almost 75%, which is really exciting as well. Now, looking at this game, these sides met last season. The Steelers came back after trailing 10-7 at halftime to outscore the Chargers 13-0 in the second half and win the game 20-10. Right now, Pittsburgh are leading the AFC North. They're 2 wins ahead of Baltimore and Cincinnati, who they have both Baltimore and Pittsburgh have a game in hand on Cincinnati. Last week, Pittsburgh broke a 2-game losing streak where they still managed at least 25 points in both losses by beating the Indianapolis Colts 27-20. They've now scored at least 21 points in 7 of 8 games this season. And after this game against the Chargers, they will face the divisional rival Cincinnati at home this time. They lost to them 3 weeks ago in Cincinnati, 33-31. So we'll be keen for some revenge in that game. So there is a little chance of a look-ahead spot here for Pittsburgh. But I think this game is very simple, very straightforward. I'm going to get into why in a minute. The Los Angeles Chargers, they're sitting second in the AFC West in a really tough division. They're behind Denver, who picked up the win as expected on Friday against Las Vegas. But they need a win to stay in touch with Denver. But then they also have the Kansas City Chiefs right behind them as well. Last week, they made it back-to-back wins with a 7-point win over the Tennessee Titans and have now scored 24 or more points in 4 consecutive games. The issue with the Chargers, they are facing big injury concerns on their offensive line, now basically having 3rd and 4th string players trying to protect Justin Herbert. Add to that, they have injuries in the running back division, so there's a huge responsibility on Kamani Vidal, who only managed 30 yards on 12 carries last week against Tennessee, and Pittsburgh are a pretty good rush defense. It's not a really easy spot for him again this week. Now, I'm going to go through what needs to happen for each team to win the game and then give you a summary of what I think is going to happen and how I'm going to approach it from a betting perspective. So firstly, for Pittsburgh to win this game, their defense needs to get pressure on Justin Herbert. The Chargers are missing key players in their offensive line and their running back stocks are decimated as well right now. So that means Justin Herbert is going to need to throw the ball a fair bit here. Pittsburgh are beatable in the pass game. In fact, they are giving up the most passing yards and the most completions. Their pass defense numbers all rank well down against the rest of the league. So they're definitely beatable against the pass. And if Herbert can deal with the pressure, if he can get the ball away quick enough, it gives them the chance here to really rack up some passing numbers. But on Pittsburgh's side of things, if they can get that pressure on Herbert, they're a high blitz rate team, which I'll get to in a second, then they potentially can limit the passing game as much as they can. But they're going to have to close down a few receivers as the Chargers have a very good receiving group. On offense for Pittsburgh, they must get the run game going here. Not many teams have had a lot of success passing the ball against the Chargers. And at the running back position for Pittsburgh, they have Jaylen Warren as their RB1 and Kenneth Gainwell as their RB2. Both those players had virtually no impact last week against Indianapolis. They got the win though, so it didn't really matter too much, but they got away with it because their passing game was going very well. They got a few key turnovers that really helped. But Warren and Gainwell had virtually no impact. Minimal yards and everything as well. So they're going to have to play better this week. It's an easier matchup for them for their run game, but it's a tougher matchup than last week for their pass game. For Los Angeles to win this game, they mainly just need to protect Justin Herbert. The Steelers rank number 3 in blitz and number 8 in pressure percentage on the quarterback. So with a minimal run game, they're a little bit predictable. So creating time in the pocket for Herbert is going to be crucial. I really doubt Kamani Vidal is going to have a lot of success on the ground here against this defense. Herbert does have a great receiver group who can find space quickly. He's got Lad McConkey and Keenan Allen as his main two. Then Quentin Johnston's having a good year and a bit of a breakout a few weeks for Oren Gadsden as well at the tight end position. So I think the Chargers can have success passing the ball here. Justin Herbert is a pretty agile quarterback. He's good on his feet, can evade pressure, can take off if he needs to. But if that pocket just closes in around him and he has nowhere to go, then there's not much you can do about it. So they will just need to make sure they can give him that little few seconds that he needs to find a receiver. On defense for the Chargers, they're very good against the pass, and they're not going to make it easy for Aaron Rodgers to move the ball down the field, especially if they can limit and minimize the ultra inconsistent Steelers run game. Overall for this game, like basically if Pittsburgh get a lot of pressure on Justin Herbert on their defense, they take away the pass game, it's going to go a long way for them to cause the upset, but they also will need to make yards on the ground to limit the number of possessions that the Chargers get. I just kind of question if they can do part two of this, and that's get the yards on the ground. So overall, I feel like this is a battle of the quarterbacks. Rodgers is going to need to work the ball his way down the field against this Chargers pass coverage, which isn't going to be easy, and Herbert's going to need to make quick decisions in the pocket and hit the receivers. So it's not a game like I'm keen to take a side in. Basically, whoever does the better of those two things is going to be the team that wins the game. I have a slight lean towards the Chargers, just with them being at home and Pittsburgh having a bit of a revenge game coming up following this against Cincinnati. But it's not really the way that I'm looking at going at this stage. I'd rather play the props, particularly around the LA Chargers passing game. Spoken about, they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. Justin Herbert, I'm looking at his pass attempts and passing yards. Then in the receiving group, Lad McConkey, his receiving yards, and Keenan Allen, his receiving yards. They get the majority of the targets, but Johnston and Gadsden also are picking up quite a few as well. So I'm going to work something around those and really try and exploit this Pittsburgh pass defense. It's also a game where I don't see the Chargers running away with a big lead. Pittsburgh have only had one loss this season by more than 10 points, and they were leading 14-7 at halftime in that game against Seattle. Chargers, they're going to need to throw the ball and keep on throwing it, as they're not going to be able to turn to the run game with a big margin in hand and run down the clock. So I think that is the best angle and most profitable angle to approach betting on this game. Hopefully you found this video insightful and it'll help you make the best decisions on your NFL bets. Stay tuned for the Eagles-Packers preview, which will be coming out soon. And also, if you like betting on sports and you want to make money, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos as well. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next video.